Ngiyaxolisa. And I ask uNkulunkulu ukuthi yonke inhliziyo engiqinele mayithambe.
Phew. Yeah.
Mayithambe towards me, I'm not a bad person. That was not my original persona bengena ngayo. I wanted to go there as the clown, the funny guy, the loving person and everything. I can take accountability for, but can I also say it was done unintentionally. But when I do apologize, or whenever Ulanda and I mean things, it will not be a public statement. It will not be done publicly. I will call him or video call him and say, dude, let's chop it up. So what would I say to Uyanda, going back to your question, if I chopped it up with him? Honestly, I would just, first things first, I would congratulate him. First things first, congratulate him. When I do apologize, I will apologize for those moments where I was just unnecessary and where he felt I bullied him.
Hey guys, hey engineers, welcome to another episode. It's me, Lungelo KM. Of course, who else could it be? Before we get into today's episode, I'd like you to please like the episode firstly. Don't forget to subscribe as well, because remember that when you subscribe, it helps us to grow the platform and have more growth conversations. But without taking any more of your time, you
understand the whole point of so, because I mean, when that when that mindset started, and you listen to these stories, and then you're like, gents, we're not actually here to mess around. We all need this. You understand? We all need, for myself, I was desperate, man. I know my background. I do not come from a family in a Mali or a wealthy family. I need this 2 million. I need these endorsement deals. So I will do whatever it takes to get this money, to get this back. Because I've never been a person who cares about people's opinions or whatever. Your opinion will remain your opinion at the end of the day. But if I get my bag, people's opinions do not matter. So I wanted a safe space for myself, which was to figure to the final without having to, how can I put it, step on people's heads intentionally. Understand? But with that being said, bullying was never part of my plan. Because I mean, I understand when people say you're bullying and stuff. I'm like, okay, but then is it still bullying when you've never sworn at the person? You've never had a physical altercation with the person. You've never had a verbal altercation, but then you are still considered the bullying. And then I asked a fan, how was I bullying Uyanda? Then they said you kept nominating him. So I'm like, so when he nominated me, that was not bullying.
Somebody out there is saying, perhaps you were not bullying him directly, using words to him, but your tone when you are speaking to him, even through general talks, could be considered as bullying. Two, when you are talking about him to other people, remember the cameras are on you when he doesn't see. So you could gossip about a person in a very condescending manner, and that can build up over the weeks that you were there. And the people whom were your cult following, because as a leader, you've acknowledged that you were the leader in the group, and the friends who organically became around you felt like you're backing. If they're also sharing the same sentiment and spreading a narrative that is negative about a person, and in their tone, the narrative keeps on building and it keeps on building and it keeps on building. And honestly, if the person had done nothing wrong to you before that, it does come across as bullying. Would you take accountability on that you led a conversation around a person that was 100% negative?
You know what? That I can take accountability for, but can I also say it was done unintentionally? Because I didn't go into the house with the mindset I'm going to go bully someone.
I hear you.
Specifically,
you came into the house for a competition for 2 million rand and you were competing.
I was competing, you understand? So I know exactly when it started. We were assigning Abantu, we'd already assigned Abantu 2 tasks in the house. So we'd okay, group 1, you do the bathroom, group 2, etc., etc. I remember, I will never forget that day. I think that's the day people turn against me. I asked everyone, had they done, because the previous housemate, did you do your part, whatever
Sure,
it is. So I
sure.
feel like as a leader,
took initiative.
Yeah, I understand. I'm like, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make sure everyone plays their part because I'm funny mundos of mati. Yeah, I'm cleaning about those band money and I be panza. So I'm funny such petty arguments and petty comments. So being like everybody, like everyone did you do this? Do this. With boy, how he responded back to me, it was very rude. So I'm like, oh, so that's how it's gonna be. Because I remember even Umendi was
diffuse.
But nah, man, guys, it's not that serious. But if you remember when I went inside the house, they asked me two things you cannot stand. I said inconsiderate people and disrespectful people. I do not mind. We do not have to like one another, but let's respect one another. Let's be civil to one another. Let's address one another with respect and decency. But the way I'm pendulum a corner, because I remember I asked him Luzugo the exact same question. Luzugo was sleeping on the couch. Like, Luzugo, have you done your task, your chores? Or to Luzugo, no, brother man, I think I apologize, I forgot. Being lel. Sharp. Upra, the way he pendulum a corner, it was not in a nice manner. And he kept reiterating, which I am picking on him for whatever reason he states. I'm like, but then I did not pick on you. I asked everyone in the house, all 23 other housemates, have you done your task? I get kumundu no one on pendulega the way you did.
Sure.
But so I guess that day we did not resolve our issue. I think for me, I had to be the bigger man and go to him and just say, dude, I did not like the way you spoke to me.
Sure.
And can it not happen again? Whatnot? So I did not. So I held that against me. Oh, lona kangbone. So my attitude towards him is going to change completely.
Yeah.
Understand?
Yeah.
Because then I'm saying, let's be civil with one another. Do not disrespect me because I have not disrespected you. I always come with you with a very polite, polite manner, and I'm always civil with everyone else. But the way I did not like. I think that's the mistake I did. I was just supposed to go back to him later on that day or during the day and just say, dude, 1, 2, 3, I did not like. Can we just resolve this? But I did not. I carried that with me.
That attitude persisted for weeks until you left. Clearly, that was the perception of what people were seeing amongst, once again, the group that you were perceived to be a leader of.
Yeah.
Did it not click to you that, wait a minute, I'm an antagonist to a person who keeps being saved by the public. Maybe my strategy isn't the right thing to do because there is something that the public is trying to send as a message, because that's the only message you get from the public, a person getting saved every week. Did it not click to you that I'm being an antagonist to a person who's loved?
It did not. I wouldn't even lie to you. It did not. Maybe it flew over my head.
Yeah.
It did not. I just had this thing, okay, maybe he's loved, but I did not think him being loved was me being hated. But I just knew, okay, he's loved, we are talking about whatever it is. Okay, sharp. But I did never think, no man, change your strategy. Be nice to the boy, whatever. And actually, the last week, Rihanna and I were cool. Him and I were cool, but I always say to people, Big Brother's gonna show you what he wants to show you.
Yeah.
The apologies, I think the apologies to people, he never shows that. So people always have that mindset, that perception of I don't know, he bullied, he doesn't, blah 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 blah. And if you could go to the housemates, for instance, Jojo, Abobo, who else, Bishini, if I did you wrong, I would go back to, and I wouldn't do it in public because I'm not someone to do something in public so that I gain people's sympathy. No, I want us to be cool. If Abantu hate me, that is cool. But if we are cool, the person who I wronged, it is fine.
Yeah.
And I even said in my life, when I do apologize or whenever and then I mean things, it will not be a public statement. It will not be done publicly. I will call him or video call him and say, dude, let's chop it up. Or I'm trying to invite him out for a cup of coffee. Like, dude, let's chop it up. But people will not see it intention, and I do not want people to see it. Let them keep having this perception of he's a bully. It's fine. They took it, they ran with it. Because now if I try to convince them otherwise, I'm trying to gain the pity the empathy or sympathy or whatever it is. So I'm not trying to do that. If like now, okay, I feel me watching the thing, the episodes, but I'm like, okay, maybe I was a bit too much there.
Sure.
You know, maybe I did, that was just unnecessary. So maybe for those moments, that's why I would apologize to him. But as I'm saying, to the last week in the house, him and I were cool. I remember even that we were even in the same group, you know. Even there's times where he'd come up with ideas. I'm like, let's go with the idea. Let's go with the idea. Ngabe my friends. No, let's go with the idea. Because I had no hatred towards him. Yes, we didn't get along. We weren't friends. That's okay. You will not get along with everyone that you come across in life. But all I wanted us to be was civil to one another. Mina and I. But he knew where I stood with him. I knew the thing vice versa as well. So this is like, for example, we had a wager that we were to do. I was in the bathroom, he was in the bathroom, washing my hands. I waited for him. Wapuma, we chopped it up we walked together while speaking, while joking around to the back to the garden, but that was not shown.
I wanna wrap up this topic, because the narrative doesn't just come from him and the altercation you guys had that seemed to be long-standing throughout the period you were in the competition. Mm-hmm. But then in that last week, when you and your friends were nominated, your friends were saying they want to move away from you. Some of them, in their diary sessions,
I know,
saying you are the demon, for the lack of a better word.
Yeah.
It's not an opportunity for you to reflect, Spali, that perhaps I have a personality that undermines other people.
I do have that part in me. That's the part that's the persona that came out in the second week of trying to protect myself. That's the persona that lends on in that Evele Puma. Because remember, as I said, which there's certain things that I did personality wise or said personality wise so that people could never ever try to walk all over me. I mean, though guys in the house would argue with Amanda Mazana, I find that petty. As Mchita, you're not supposed to argue with Ndomazana. So girls knew, do not try this guy, because this guy is gonna switch you off now. Even when Umshin, there's times where I made a joke about LTI and stuff. She took it personal. I apologized, and then she started the whole. I'm sure you've seen the whole trend in Masipali. I told her, Machine, I do not like this. I kept telling her, Mato, I do not like this. This is what I was bullied for in school. I do not like this. So when you say this, you're triggering something in me, young tall. And then I kept asking the other girls, guys, would you please speak to Machine? Ask her to please stop this, because I do not like it and stuff. But then she carried on, and then I retaliated, you know, and all that kind of stuff, to a point where I thought she wasn't okay. And then I stopped. I'm like, you see, exactly what I did to you right now is what you've been doing to me. And I did not want it to come to this point. So when I say, please stop doing something to me, please stop. I have a good reason why I'm saying, please stop doing this, because it will trigger me. And then at that point in time, I'll not be able to control my emotions. We all have coping mechanisms. There's someone who takes a cigarette just to go calm down. There's someone who goes smokes a blunt just to calm down. I didn't have my coping mechanisms, and I know how I am when I do not have my coping things.
Sure.
I get triggered and I react. Had I had a blunt, I'm just cheer up, I'm like, you know what, forget about the machine. But because I was sober, I was agitated. You know, there's certain things in the house that happen that irritate you. So now, when that one thing happens, all those things, everything that you've been bottling, that kushuma at that moment in time. So I hate being triggered and yeah.
Unfortunately, we won't be there, but we're here when you make that call. Firstly, I'm sure it's very easy to get Uyanda's phone number for a person of your position. Why haven't you made the call now? It's been weeks since he's been out of that house, 2 weeks or more. Why haven't you made that call? And take me in. What sort of things are you going to say in that call?
You know what? Maybe I'm just waiting for everything to die down. Waiting for everything just to die down. Let him have his moment. You know, between us two, he did come out victorious. You know, let him have his moment. And then once everything has settled down, then maybe I'll be like, dude, let's go out for some coffee. Or when I'm in the Eastern Cape or Cape Town, dude, let's go out where I see a box and go grab a drink or whatever it is and just chop things up. Even like I did with Abobo. I waited for everything to die down. And then the following week, after everything had settled, I called him. Bro, how are you doing? Okay, and even yesterday, I think I texted him yesterday. Hey, bro, how you doing? How's everything? I enjoyed the bozo and how's everything on your side? No, I'm good. I was just checking up on you to see how you're doing and everything. And that is someone who also, I first had, I wouldn't say I had bad blood with Abo, but I understood what he did not like some of the jokes or how I would banter with Abanya Band. But and I was and I told him everything. I'm so fond of you. I don't know why. Maybe he used to remind me of the thing, the classmates from school who used to be bullied. Remember when I said I used to love the awkward kids? Laba Abantu do not mess with Kakul. I used to love chilling with them, seeing their point of view and how life is for them and stuff. And I remember we had a conversation myself, Wabobo and Ezra one time. Ishas, am I wasting your time?
No. I have to time myself. Don't stress about me.
So I remember we were having like a conversation with Wabobo, just talking about Jamanto Mazan and all that kind of stuff. And then like, Jens, you understand with Yongin Chile, I already know and stuff. Oh, shit. Yeah, I didn't know because I just perceived you as this person who's always in jail. Introverted or was just in the...
Which he was.
He was.
Yeah.
And I wanted him to come out of it.
Yeah.
I wanted him to come out of it. And the reason why I was so close to Abobo, he won't even realize it after he told me the story about his mom. And then he asked me to help him out in terms of his play, as well involved by his mom. I was honored.
Yeah.
I was so honored. That's when the thing between the tension between him and I broke. But I understand Guti, there was still that thing because he was close to
Uyanda.
Yes. And I mean, I was parent, well, not a parent, but we were in different
polar
camps.
ends. Yeah.
You understand? Different camps. So I understand why, from his end, he would maybe nominate me or whatever the case may be. Because, I mean, he's in Uyanda's camp. He needs to stay loyal. Nami, I would obviously save
the bandanas.
Someone from the bandana squad. From the bandana squad. as opposed to, you know. So I understood that he had to stay loyal to his friend. Now I stayed loyal to my friend. Understand? I said, "What if I win HOH, you get nominated? I will save you." And I did exactly that because the reason I love being part of it and saying it's protection, it's loyalty, it's a family. You build a little family with Amajita. Wow, that's what I've always had. Like my best friends, we've been best friends for 18, 19 years now.
Sure.
So when I build a friendship, I build a family,
real connections.
You know, it's not just it's beyond friendship now. It's families. And stuff. So that's what I wanted with the boys. But maybe I went about it the wrong way, or maybe I went about it in a way maybe my personality was just too much for them. You understand? So yeah, I think that's where I kind of went wrong. So what would I say to Uyanda, going back to your question, if I chopped it up with him? Honestly, I would just, first things first, I would congratulate him. First things first, congratulate him. When I do apologize, I will apologize for those moments where I was just unnecessary and where he felt I bullied him.
Which is human, by the way. To go overboard sometimes when you feel under pressure and you feel like you're desperate, right?
Desperate.
Because as you're saying, you're acknowledging that you went into the competition from a place of, I need to save my family. It's do or die.
Yeah.
Perhaps for some other people, they've got things to go back to. For me, it is do or die.
It's do or die. That's why I cried so hard when I lost the first arena games. Because for me, I'm not here to build friendships. I'm not here to gain fame. I'm here to help my family. Before I went inside the house, my mother took out a loan for me to get new clothes, to get a luggage bag, transport money, such things. So I knew, okay, if I could win my arena games and remain in the top 5, automatically I get endorsement deals and all the kind of stuff. At least there will be financial relief for my family.
Sure.
So everything I did in Cikizwa with my soul. I put my soul and heart in everything that I did. Maybe I just wanted the boys to be as hungry as I was. You know, even like the catchphrases I would tell the boys in the arena: gents, lock in, block out the noise, focus on your game. Make sure you're feeding your families as well. Usia Uswes told me his story. Uluzo told me his story. Ezra, I know his story. Like, we need this. We need this. Maybe some of y'all, maybe are here for the fame, but one thing about fame, it is not an occupation. It does not pay. Here is the bag right here. That's why, as I'm saying, it did not come to me. Like, I didn't care how people perceive me. I'm here to play my game because I know why I am here.
When we started the conversation, you said your heart is majority heavy. Would you say it is the regret of how you played the game that has made your heart heavy, because it has resulted in you not getting into the top 5 and immediately jumping onto these endorsement deals and these heroes welcome and this massive fan base?
It's a huge part of it. It's a huge part of it because, yes, I failed in the house. I did not, not fail, but I did not get where I wanted to get in the house. Okay, so now, what's the second step? Building outside of the house.
Sure.
But now it is difficult to build outside of the house because you come out, you are the most hated person in South Africa. Where do you begin? I've never experienced such hate in my life.
Sure.
Not from friends, not from family, not from anyone. Not even someone I did not like at school. I've never experienced such hatred. So for me, and I'm hated by the entire country. I remember people sending me videos, reels of them celebrating my eviction. I was like, wow. So my demise course it brought so much happiness to a lot of people. You understand? Having to wake up to hateful messages. You want to go through your inbox. You think maybe there's a company or brand that wants to work with you, whatever it is. And
it's just hate mail,
everything. Just people, and then you go to bed and before now, and then you're like, oh, who could that be? Damn, not this again. Then you put your phone down, and then your family gets involved. Hey, when don't, all the kind of stuff. So to wake up every day and to go to bed to that every day, it's not a nice feeling. I do not wish it upon my...
It's wrong. I think let's not water it down. It's wrong. Bullying people on the internet is wrong.
Yeah.
Just because a person has been on a public platform and their mistakes were displayed to millions of people, it does not give you the right to go there and be condescending towards them, to be rude, to be inhumane, to be outright a rubbish human being in how you talk to them. If you really care for them, as you say, or you don't want their behavior to continue in the way, you politely send a message, but frankly, it's none of your business, because he's out of the house and he's living his life. He's moving on, right?
Yeah.
And trust me, you adding on to the messages when you can see there's already a hate train on someone, it doesn't do anything for you or to you. In fact, it's a reflection of poor character on the person who's sending those messages, because you've got your own mistakes you have in life and you're not offering a person grace, especially if this person is taking accountability for their mistakes. Recently, you were live trying to explain the pain that you've been going through and expressing how sorry you are. I agree with you. You've been harshly treated.
Yeah.